The latest military departure to Afghanistan from East Anglia took place early this morning when around 500 soldiers from the Suffolk-based 23 Engineer Regiment left for the Helmand province.
It's the third tour of Afghanistan for the regiment, which provides support to 16 Air Assault Brigade. Yesterday, a church service was held in the barracks' hometown of Woodbridge. Lorna Burns was there.
Just hours before they left for war, the Woodbridge troops gathered at the local church. Playing heavily on their minds, the challenges lying ahead for both them and those they're leaving behind. Among them, Sergeant Major Stephen Nadalek, who only returned from his last tour 17 months ago.
Usual, bit apprehensive, but at the same time, got the blokes all prepped for it and ready to go.
But this time, he's been deployed on his daughter Leah's 8th birthday.
Excited because it's my birthday, and sad because he's going away.
At least I know what to expect now, and there's lots going on in the regiment for the wives and the children as well, which is good.
They've deployed with 16 Air Assault Brigades since 2003, building roads, bridges or anything else the soldiers need. They've had no losses in Afghanistan before, and they've all had arduous training. But as the service began, the mood was solemn. Religious or not, all saying a prayer for their safe return.
A time for tears, a time for laughter, a time for mourning, a time for dancing.
One of the readings was given by this tour's commanding officer, Fraser Ross.
It's a mixture of emotions, really. Naturally, we're at the point now where we're all trained, we're all ready to go. The inevitable is going to happen, so we do just want to go. But at the same time, we're leaving behind a community, family, friends and loved ones. So mixed emotions, but generally, let's just go and get on with the job.
After the ceremony, it was on to the school hall for food and drinks donated by local bakers and breweries. This is the regiment's third deployment to Afghanistan, so for many here, their second or third trip. For their families, saying goodbye never really gets easier. For now, the soldiers made the most of the beer and brownies, leaving to fight their country knowing members of their family and their hometown fully support them. Laura Burns, Anglia News, Woodbridge in Suffolk.
The first 30 turbines at the Greater Gabbard wind farm off the Suffolk coast are now in place and ready to start generating electricity. The wind farm will eventually be the world's largest, with 140 turbines near Sizewell. It's due to be completed in 2012. The wind farm will eventually produce enough energy to power 500,000 homes.
Now, an Audi TT convertible, Prada sunglasses and Gucci handbags were among the items that went under the hammer at an auction in Norfolk today.
They weren't the cast-offs of celebrity A-listers, but the ill-gotten gains of drug dealers, as Jim Rice now reports.
At 32, 4...
The gang, who peddled drugs from Cheshire to the Norfolk coast to fund lavish sports cars and designer clothes, got their comeuppance earlier this month when 6 of them were jailed for their crimes. Their assets, worth almost £130,000, were confiscated by Norfolk Police's Serious Crimes Unit and sold off today.
It's marvellous, really, because at the end of the day there's a lot of work that's gone into this in terms of actually catching the drug dealers and convicting them and protecting the people of Norfolk. But then this is the end result, is having sentenced them, they've gone to prison. When they come out of prison, their assets will be sold, because that's what we've done today. We've taken them from them, we've taken the profit out of crime, which is what this is all about.
Operation Abut targeted the supply of cocaine from Cheshire to Great Yarmouth, Gorleston and Caister. The Audi TT convertible up for sale today belonged to 29-year-old Robert Munday, given a 4.5-year sentence for supplying a Class A drug. Over £77,000 in cash was also seized from him.
At £26,500. Your name, sir?
If you wanted to go and buy one of these, there's only 2 others in the country. That I could see when I had a quick look on the internet this morning. So yes, it is, but it's unfortunately, I was hoping it was going to represent better value still, but beggars and choosers, and I'm very happy.
6 people were given a total of 17 years in prison for drug-related offences. The police say they won't be returning to a life of luxury once they're released. Now their assets have all been sold off. Jim Rice, Anglia News.
A new study of drinking habits shows people living in the Broadland area of Norfolk are the country's most responsible. Nationwide, over the past 5 years, there was a 65% increase in the number of people admitted to hospital due to alcohol. But Broadland was the lowest in the country for people harming themselves through alcohol, with South Norfolk also in the top 10.
Football and Southend's much-changed squad seems to be growing in confidence under Paul Sturrock as they make progress in the Johnston's Paint Trophy competition. Mind you, it was a dramatic night for the Shrimpers. They won their first round tie against Gillingham 4-3 on penalties after the game finished goalless. Colchester have a bye into round 2.
Elena from Ipswich could break into the top 50 in world tennis if she makes further progress at the US Open Championships later today. The British #1, currently ranked 54th, is making her debut at Flushing Meadow, the final Grand Slam of the season. She plays the Czech Republic's Petra Kvitova in the second round of the women's singles.
A 16-year-old Malaysian karting star became one of the youngest ever to drive a Formula One car when he took the wheel of a Lotus today. The Norfolk-based team were testing their latest car at Duxfield Airfield near Cambridge. And Nabil Jeffrey conducted the aerodynamic tests along the runway. The airfield was used last year by the Renault Formula One team for straight-line speed tests, which prompted noise complaints from some of the locals. Now to our regular update from ITV Fixers. This month, we meet a group of young disabled people from Ipswich who are making a film promoting the message, "We can do it."
The group hoped it'll encourage others to focus on their capabilities rather than their limitations. And during the shoot, a well-known soap star dropped in to offer some support.
I'm Sadie and I'm 17 years old.
And my name is Aston, I'm 17 years old and we come from Ipswich.
I have spina bifida
and I have autism. Our ITV Fixers project is called We Can Do It, and we are making a film about young people with disabilities to try and change their attitudes towards us.
And it's basically about proving that disabled people can do just as much as your average able-bodied person can do, but we may need a bit more help. When I go out and people stare, I'd like to change that as well, because I'm a person. Look past the chair and look at the person.
The bowling is quite an important part of what we're doing today because it's showing other people that just because you have a disability doesn't mean you can't go out and have fun with your friends. And it's having a bit of a competition today as well, boys versus girls. Who's going to win?
The camera crew from ITV Fixers has been following us today to help us make our film. The film will show us getting on with everyday activities and having fun, just like teenagers without a disability.
It was a whole fun game of bowling, especially since the girls won it. What amazed me is that the boys were really good help, even with cheering us on.
We met David Proud from EastEnders, who's in a wheelchair. He spoke to us about his experiences.
We have dreams and everything, obviously. Do you think there's any jobs or anything out there that we can't do?
Realistically, yes. Fireman is going to be out, because the time it takes me to take my chair out of the fire engine, you know, the building will be gone. But I think that you should never be limited by anything that you're physically capable of. So, you know, if it's, whether it's a lawyer, you know, that's a very hard job to do. And, you know, you'd have to really study hard, but there's no reason why you can't be in a wheelchair and be a lawyer. Don't be scared. Be that first disabled person to be a doctor. You know, be whatever you want to be, because there are jobs out there you can definitely do.
This film is going to go out to parents and carers, teachers and other teenagers. After watching the film, they should think that we are just the same as anyone else.
I think now is an absolutely brilliant time to be, you know, doing projects like you're doing, you know, writing, directing, doing voiceovers, doing the whole lot, because it's going to be a massive push. So you're actually all going to feel like it's a lot more achievable to do, whatever you want to do.
Meeting David Proud really inspired me that I can follow my dreams and do what I want to do.
Well, I feel really good because I know that a lot of people have had difficulty with trying to change people's views towards them and get people to give them more independence. And sometimes they don't believe us when we say, I can do it. But I feel like this video will prove that we can.
And for further information, you can visit itvvixers.com/Anglia or call 01223 655515.
Well, this is a non-premium rate call, and your network operator rates will apply from a BT landline. Calls from other networks may be higher, and from mobiles will be considerably more, so please seek the bill payer's permission before phoning.
Lines close on the 31st of December 2010 at 5 p.m. Calls made after the closing time won't be answered, but you may actually still be charged.
Right.